Hi everyone, this is Crystal and welcome back to my Organize With Me series. Today I am tackling enamel dots and gems. So right now I have all of my enamel dots and gems stored in the top two drawers of this container. It's just a small Sterilite brand container that I think is maybe sometimes used for like office supplies. I think that's what I used it for before. If you saw my sequins and wood veneer video, I had those stored in this bottom drawer. The top two drawers are filled with enamel dots and gems. So my plan is to not keep them in these drawers anymore and to move them into a new container. So I, at one point, went through and took a lot of them out of their packaging. So a lot of them are just kind of loose in here like this, which I thought would be fine. It turns out it's not exactly the easiest way to store them. So since then, I have kept the rest in their packaging, but I'm thinking that I don't really want this plastic bag outer part, that I may just take them out of the bag and maybe staple them to the cardboard backer or the cardstock backer. It's kind of what I'm thinking right now anyway. I'm not entirely sure, but you can see there's quite a bit here. Enamel dots, again, are one of those things that I kind of go through phases with. Sometimes I use them a lot, sometimes I don't really use them much at all, but there is quite a bit more here than I actually need. So that is just the one drawer, and I tried to kind of separate them in these drawers by ones that are kind of strictly enamel dots, and then these are more like gems in here, and I do have some larger enamel shapes as well in here. And then the other thing that I have stored in here, if I can get all of these out of the way, are these super old like DIY enamel dots that I made many years ago. So there was a process where you could melt perler beads and then use some alines, tack it over and over to create your own kind of adhesive enamel dots. And it worked pretty well. You can see they've held up and they are still adhesive. They do still work. I don't really use these much, although I guess there's not any reason why I couldn't. I'm not sure that I would use the adhesive that's on them, even though they're sticky still. I'm not real confident that they'll stay stuck to anything. So yeah, I think maybe they would have been better off just kind of left loose like this, and then you can use them like little gems. But yeah, that's not what I did. I added them to all these little sheets of sticker paper and then put them in these little bags just like real enamel dots, and I still have quite a few of those. So I have to decide whether I'm actually going to use these or not, or whether it's time to get rid of them, and then do the same with all of the rest of these pearls and gems and things that are in here. You can see like it's not a great storage solution. Some of them are just floating around the bottom here. I think that goes with that set there. I do have a couple brads in here, and I'm not entirely sure why, but yeah, those are floating around in the bottom too. So my plan is to, first of all, reduce what I have here down to a more reasonable amount. I have another one of those blue boxes that are from the Starbucks Been There mugs. I'm thinking this might work. I don't really have a good solution for how to store these, but right now I'm just thinking that if I kind of put them in here standing up like this, that I'll be able to flip through and pull out the ones that I want to use. That's what I'm hoping. That's what my plan is. I'm going to go ahead and put you on fast forward, start sorting through what I have left here, and then start figuring out what I actually have space to keep. So I'm going to start by just kind of sorting through what's here and refamiliarizing myself with what I actually have. Because honestly, it's been quite a while since I've seen some of these things. They've been buried in the bottom of these drawers. Even though they're small drawers, I definitely wasn't able to see everything that was there. So I'm just kind of looking through and figuring out what's here and what I know right off the top that I can get rid of. So that's what I'm making a pile of up there in the right hand top corner. That's what I know that I'm just not going to use and I'm absolutely willing to get rid of. And then I'm going to start going through what's left and just kind of sorting them into type or brand. Not that that's how I'm going to store them, but that's just how I think of them. So that's how I'm going to kind of assess what's here. So just sorting through. I'm making a little pile of the small gems. I got rid of most of the large ones. I'm kind of sorting the enamel dots by type or by brand. And then I will take everything out of their packaging and just staple them to the cardstock backer. I find that the packaging is mostly just annoying, and while it does certainly keep things from kind of falling down and getting lost, it doesn't really happen that often. So I feel like it's not worth the hassle of having to deal with it every time I want to use one of these enamel dots just to keep one or two from disappearing. So I am going to get rid of the plastic packaging and just deal with the little plastic sheets that they're stuck to by stapling them to the cardstock. So I'm just using a regular stapler. This is actually a stapler that used to belong to my grandpa. He and my grandma ran a Sears store many, many years ago, and this is the stapler that was on his desk. So he had it for the rest of his life. He had it until he died, and I inherited it then. I'm not exactly sure how that happened or why, but I do love having it, and it does make me think of him. So yeah, that's what I'm using to staple the plastic sheets to the cardstock, and I'm making a pile of the ones that are on cardstock. Not that they're the same brand or anything, but just because they're on cardstock. There really is not a lot of rhyme or reason to the piles I'm making, except that, you know, everything of a certain kind I can kind of deal with wholesale and either keep or get rid of the whole pile. Okay, so I think it's mostly sorted. I think I have just a few more to add to these piles, and then I'll make some decisions about the piles themselves. So I definitely, there's definitely nothing wrong with any of these that I'm kind of sorting through. It really is going to come down to whether they're ones that I think I'll use, and if I have ones that are similar, I really only need to keep one of them because I just don't use them that much, and I don't want to just hold on to them forever and not use them. So making some quick decisions here, not thinking about it too much, just really, will I use it, will I not use it, and will it all fit into my little box? So I'm going to come back here live in just a minute and kind of walk you through what I've done and how it's turned out so far, and then what I plan to do with the other piles. So I'm going to talk to you in a minute just about that. But I did want to say that I'm not entirely convinced that this little blue box is going to work for me. It's what I have right now, and until I figure out something better, it will work well enough. But I'm still kind of on the lookout for that perfect solution for storing these. But I think maybe I need to use it like this for just a little bit before I make that decision. So just something to keep in mind for the future. Okay, so I am going to come back here in just a second and talk to you live and update you on my progress. Okay, so this is what I've ended up with. This is everything that I have kept, and this is everything that I'm getting rid of. I don't tend to use a lot of gemstones, so I decided to get rid of most of those. Even though they're really beautiful, I just don't use. I've had these for over a year now, and I clearly haven't even touched them. So yeah, I'm not likely to use them, so it's probably time to let those go. I did keep some of the smaller ones. I do sometimes use those, and I can see myself maybe using them on a card here and there. So I did keep those. I did also keep these just because I'm going to give myself another opportunity to try and use them. Otherwise, I'll just throw them away if I don't end up actually using them anytime soon, because they don't really fit in here well. but I don't really want to add them to the D-stash boxes since they aren't even real enamel dots. So I'm just going to stick them in here for now. And then everything else is just kind of tucked into this box so that I can flip through. I did take everything out of the package so that I can get to it easily and flip through and see what I have and find the color that I'm looking for and go from there. So I'm hoping this will work a bit better. It should be a little bit easier to see what I have and actually use it. And then I'll talk about how I'm storing these boxes in a later video. So all of this is going into my D-stash bin. It'll be added to the D-stash boxes that I will have available at the end of this series. So if you have any questions about anything you see here or anything I've done, please feel free to leave those in the comments below and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you all so much for watching and I will see you back here soon.